In the northwestern area of Montana, the Blackfeet Indian Reservation houses over 10,000 members of the Blackfeet Nation. There, the Native Americans live off of agriculture and ranching. They have developed their own government, as well as an education system, which differs greatly from the Blackfoot's way of life before Western settlement. Not much is known about the Blackfeet Indians before the Europeans arrived in North America, but it is commonly believed that they originally lived on the East Coast due to their Algonquian dialect, which is an Eastern Native language. They appeared to have migrated west before the 18th century. They were also known to be nomadic. They moved their homes to follow their main food source, the buffalo. Blackfeet Indians depended on buffalo for virtually everything: food, shelter, clothing, equipment, you name it. Without an abundance of buffalo, the tribe would struggle immensely, but more on that later. In the 1750s, the Blackfeet began trading with British settlers in Canada. In exchange for wolf and beaver pelts, they received guns and ammunition, which allowed them to dominate their enemies, the Shoshone tribe and the Nez Perces. The Blackfeet also acquired a new mode of transportation: horses. With these new beasts, the Indians could hunt more easily and further expand their territory through warfare. Everything seemed to be going well for the tribe. There was an abundance of buffalo, British traders that supplied them with whatever they wanted, and enemies that lacked the technology to defeat them in battle. This all changed, however, when 8 warriors encountered Meriwether Lewis and the Corps of Discovery in July of 1806. After the two groups had made camp for the night, the Corps attempted to make peace, telling the warriors about their triumphs in achieving peace with other tribes, such as the Shoshone and the Nez Perces, and informing them that those tribes would be receiving guns as a sort of signing bonus. The warriors took this as a threat. Until that point, the Blackfeet had a monopoly on guns. If their enemies also controlled this power, it would weaken the Blackfoot's power over them. They couldn't let that happen. So when the Corps had fallen asleep, the warriors attempted to steal their firearms and horses. The plan went awry. 2 Indians lost their lives, one stabbed by Meriwether Lewis, and another killed by a man named Reuben Field. This marked the first bloodshed between Western explorers and native tribes. From that point forward, the Blackfeet tribe regarded American settlers with hostility, and through war parties, eventually killed 3 of the original Corps of Discovery members. It has already been mentioned in this documentary that the Blackfeet were dependent on buffalo for basically everything. However, in the 1800s, the United States government ordered the destruction of buffalo. They did this in order to diminish Indian tribes' source of food and make nomadic tribes settle in one small reservation area. And why did they want Indians in one little piece of land? Because white people wanted the land the Indians had spread across. This lack of buffalo led to hunger within the Blackfeet tribe. Over 600 Indians starved to death during this period of time, which was a significant number considering many had already contracted smallpox and measles after the Europeans arrived. In the 1870s, the Blackfeet signed a treaty with both Canada and Montana, which assured that they would indeed move to these reservations and give up most of their land in exchange for education on living off of agriculture, annuities of food, and medical aid. For the next 100+ years, this is where they reside. It is not a happy existence, however. On the Montana reservation, the unemployment rate is at almost 69%, for the reserve provides a limited amount of jobs for the Native Americans. The poverty rate is at almost 34%, and over half of those are people between the ages of 18 and 64. After a long, hard history of destruction, war, disease, and hunger, the Blackfeet living on the reservation preserve their culture in spirit and their customs. Though it is not ideal, the Indians survive, passing on their stories and lessons to new generations of Blackfeet people.